So, what happens when the story you write suddenly makes you the story? When all your success doesn't bring you safety, but instead paints a giant target right on your back? Well, that's exactly what we're going to explore today.
All right, so for this explainer, we are tearing into the pages of Chris Hammer's fantastic thriller, Legacy. And this cover really sets up the central question perfectly, doesn't it? We've got this man, Martin Scarsden, whose life is about to get completely turned upside down, forcing him into the huge, unforgiving Australian outback. So the big question is he running towards a safe place or straight into a trap?
Okay, let's set the scene here. Picture this. It's supposed to be the absolute best night of Martin's professional life, a huge moment of triumph. But yeah, that celebration, it's about to be shattered violently and, well, permanently. So who is this guy, Martin? He's a true crime author, and he's just hit the big time with a new book, an expose on a Melbourne mobster. He's in the car with his partner Mandy and their 7-year-old son Liam, and the book describes this moment as just one of pure joy. That feeling when everything in the world feels right, you know? He's finally found a home, a family, a community. He literally has everything to lose.
Now, what's just crazy is how brutally fast everything unravels. I mean, look at this. At 7 p.m., they're celebrating at the local surf club. By 7:50, less than an hour later, a cop is screaming about a bomb threat. 10 minutes after that, a massive orange flash rips through the night as the community hall explodes. And just 1 minute later, gunfire. A bullet slams into a road sign. This isn't an accident. No way. This is a coordinated military-style attack.
So the big question is, why? Why is this happening? Well, the answer comes from an intelligence agent, a guy named Jack Guffing, and he lays it out for Martin. This wasn't some kind of warning. A professional hit has been ordered through an encrypted, totally untraceable app for the criminal underworld, and the job was taken by a group calling themselves the B Team. The point here isn't to scare him, it's to kill him, period.
So the plan to get away is just as extreme as the threat itself. Goffing's orders are brutally simple. Martin and his family have to completely shatter their lives to survive. Mandy and their son Liam are told to flee overseas, make a big public show of it, and then just vanish. Martin gets a burner phone, fake license plates, a whole new identity. And his destination? The vast, empty heart of the Australian outback, where his job is to become a ghost. Okay, so while Martin is literally running for his life, the story pivots. We meet someone else, whose world is also completely falling apart, but for totally different reasons. Her crisis isn't about bullets and bombs. It's about watching a life's work turn to dust overnight. So let's meet Ekaterina Boland. Everyone calls her Echo. And when we first see her, she is on top of the world, standing in her brand new, sterile, gleaming apartment overlooking the Brisbane River. See, she's a ghostwriter, and this was meant to be it, her big break, the moment she could finally leave her old life behind and become this newer, shinier, successful version of herself.
And here's the whiplash. The dream was built on a massive contract to ghostwrite the autobiography of a celebrity icon, Riley Sloane. And the reality? A single text message from her agent, Riley Sloane arrested, predator, child abuse. Just like that, it's over. And get this? The publisher doesn't just cancel the book, they refuse to pay her for the manuscript she's already delivered because of some clause about delivery and acceptance. The dream vanishes, the apartment is lost, she is completely ruined.
You can just feel her despair. She feels like she's being personally punished. She thinks to herself, I should have known that isn't how the world works, not for the likes of me. And that quote just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? She feels trapped by a past she can't seem to escape, and this latest blow just feels like the universe itself is conspiring against her.
But right when she hits absolute rock bottom, her agent calls back. There's one last, strange, desperate option on the table. A lifeline that's about to pull her into the exact same desolate landscape Martin is fleeing towards.
Okay, so check out this offer. It's bizarre, but she is in no position to refuse. An old man named Claiborne Carmichael wants his family history written. It's not a public book, just something for his grandkids. The pay is incredible, $120,000 plus room and board. She might just be able to save her apartment. The catch? The job is on a remote cattle station, way out west. She has no choice but to say yes.
And so, Echo's journey begins. She flies from the green coast into a world that just turns from brown to bone to red. The book describes it as the sureties of the coast being stripped away: elevation, vegetation, civilization. The further she goes, the more isolated she becomes, heading straight for the very place where Martin is trying to disappear. And right here, this is where our two storylines start to converge. You've got two people running from two totally different kinds of ruin, and they are now on a direct collision course in one of the most isolated places on Earth.
This table just lays it all out perfectly. You have a true crime author running from killers and a ghostwriter running from bankruptcy. For Martin, the Outback is supposed to be a hiding place, a shield of emptiness. For Echo, it's a job, a last glimmer of hope. He is hunted and terrified. She is desperate but also hopeful. They're both heading into the exact same void, but with completely opposite expectations.
But here's the thing you have to understand. The Outback isn't just a passive backdrop for this story. In this final section, we see how the landscape itself becomes an antagonist, a force that threatens them both. And that's the core paradox, isn't it? The very same isolation that might save Martin's life is also what makes the Outback so incredibly deadly. One character warns him, people die out here. There's no mobile signal, the roads turn to sludge with the slightest rain, and without water you wouldn't last a day. It's a perfect place to disappear, whether you want to or not.
Just as Martin feels like he might finally be safe, having reached a communications black hole, he gets one last message from his agent, Goffing. B-Team in country. That phrase, in country, it is so chilling. It means the professional killers aren't just some abstract threat anymore. They are here. They are in Australia and they are hunting him. The refuge is already compromised.
And while Martin is facing this very real physical threat, Echo walks right into a psychological one. She meets her employer, Claiborne Carmichael, who looks her over like she's livestock. He's not interested in some glossy, sanitized family history. He wants the truth, warts and all. This isn't just a simple job. She's being hired to dig up secrets, and you have to wonder what kind of dark legacy he wants her to uncover.
So all of this leaves us with one final massive question. You have a man being hunted by professional killers and a woman hired to uncover a family's darkest secrets, both of them trapped in a landscape that could kill them at any moment. When their paths inevitably cross, and you know they will the danger come from the assassins, the secrets buried in the red dust, or from each other?